Skip it up and that up. Oh boy. So Anita Sarkeesian is back in the news. And when I saw this story, some of you sent me this article too. And when I saw this story that she was at the UN, I almost shit myself. Thank God I didn't. That would have been messy, but let's get into this and talk about what the hell happened. So the Broadband Communication Working Group on Gender, they were at the United Nations a couple days ago, and they did a bunch of research, and they wanted to show their findings on what they consider, and I quote here, to be the rising tide of violence, of online violence, against women and girls, because it doesn't happen to anyone else except women. And of course, who was there? Our two most favorite women in the gaming industry, Miss Zoe Quinn and, of course, Miss Anita Sarkeesian. Now, both of them mentioned issues that happened to them online. Zoe Quinn, for example, said she sat in a chat room silently, like in stealth, for 2 weeks, recording Gamergate people. Of course, it's all Gamergate people. It's not just a couple weirdos. I'll talk about how Polygon threw Gamergate under the bus again. She recorded the people plotting on how they would drive Zoe Quinn to kill herself. This is also what Zoe Quinn said at the UN briefing, and I quote here, "We shouldn't have to keep fighting when anyone could go take a look at my Twitter mentions right now when people are impersonating my friends to basically use gendered violent slurs against me. That's my day-to-day, and it shouldn't be on people like me to have to prove this." Sarkeesian was saying that she also wants to combat more than just the threats, but the day-to-day grind crap she has to deal with. You're a liar, you suck, people making all these hate videos on a regular basis to attack us and the mobs that come from those hate videos. I'm actually quoting her directly right there. Now, shockingly, there is one statement that Anita Sarkeesian did make that I do agree with, even though I'm sure that she's just defending women. If websites did implement this, it would help everybody. This is what she had to say. "The online social media sites and the places in which we are engaging really need to step up and change the way that their systems operate." I agree. It's not enough that the social media sites simply put band-aids on the problem areas. They need to completely reimagine what their systems look like in order to build sites that actively deter online harassment. And look, what she said there is dead on. I know, again, she's just trying to defend women and her feminist crew, because, hell, even the report that they did cyber violence against women and girls. They're just trying to defend women here, which pisses me off to no end, and I'll talk about that in a second. But the statement she made there is true. Like Twitter, for example, if you report somebody, they're fucking useless. They're absolutely useless, and it's not just me saying this. I know other people who've had issues with people on Twitter, with people truly violating Twitter's terms of service. They would report them multiple times, and Twitter would do nothing about the harasser. And yeah, it's a mess, and websites need to step up their game big time. So that's one thing that Anita Sarkeesian is right about. And I'll have a link to the GameSpot article below, and they have a whole bunch of other links in there, like linking to the report, linking to the UN video. You could actually watch the Anita Sarkeesian UN video in action. So if you want to check it out and look more into detail, you can. I'm not going to go into all that detail because this video would end up being 2 hours long. But I'm going to tell you a story now, and no, this story is not about me. It's about another former YouTuber. I'm actually still friends with him outside of YouTube, but he went by the YouTube name I Am the Anti-Martyr. Now, this happened probably about 2 or 3 years ago. He made a video talking about his preferences with video games, or why he liked PC better, whatever the case may be. And he was discussing it. And him discussing that made someone so mad. Okay, and it makes me think it wasn't trolling, because when someone leaves you a personal message, it usually means they're definitely truly pissed off at what you're saying. Someone left them a personal message. They said they're going to find out where he lives and they're going to kill him and his family. Or how about the YouTuber Thunderfoot, whose father was diagnosed with cancer, and because there's people who don't agree with what he does or his views on things in his videos, said they were happy to him that his father was suffering from cancer. Or how about the countless times I've seen men threaten other men to beat the shit out of them because they had different views on video games. And I'm not saying not to me it didn't happen, but there's other men in this community I've seen it happen to countless times. I'm going to fuck you up. I'm going to find you. Let's meet somewhere. This isn't a woman problem or young girl problem. This is males, females, Hispanic, black, white, gay, straight, transgender, Muslim, Christian, whatever the case may be, atheist. This is everybody's problem. This is a human problem. Because of the anonymity on the internet, people can be fucking psychos. And it has nothing to do, it's not just women being targeted, it's people just targeting other people. It's happening everywhere, and it's happening to everybody. And what bothers me right now is because you're turning this into a gender thing, no one's going to take it seriously if it doesn't happen to women. If there's a guy who says, look, I've been threatened online. Okay, this guy's been sending me PMs saying he's going to come to my house and put a bullet on my head. You know what's going to happen now? People are going to say, oh, what are you, one of those feminists? What are you, crying like Anita Sarkeesian? You're taking a serious issue, Anita and Zoe, that affects everybody, and you're making it about you. I would love to see there be rules, laws, and regulations put in place, but now no one's going to look at it seriously now. It's going to take a step back because you're making it a gender thing when it's a human problem thing, and that's very goddamn selfish of you. Now, the last thing I need to do in this video is throw Polygon under the bus, because I hate when websites purposely spread misinformation. I've made my mistakes before where unknowingly I spread misinformation, and I've made mistakes, but when websites know for a fact what they're saying is bullshit and still put it out there because they know people will want to read their articles or watch their videos, it makes me angry. And this is what Polygon did. Now, they're talking about Zoe Quinn here, and this is what they said. As one of the most prominent figures, Zoe Quinn, embroiled in Gamergate, they refer to Gamergate as this: a loosely organized crusade to rid of the video game world of progressive voices. Now, that is in the same paragraph in the Polygon article where Zoe Quinn's talking about how she silently sat in a chat room and supposed Gamergate members were going to try to get her to kill herself. Now, the mainstream media, including Polygon, would love for you to believe that everyone in Gamergate is a bunch of white basement-dwelling dudes that do nothing more but hate women and don't want women to play video games. And even though I'm not a part of Gamergate, and I never have been, I've proven before, and I'll include a link to the video again with video evidence, that is not the case. There was a video that came out, I believe it's about a little over a year ago now, looking at the date as we speak. Yeah, about a little over a year ago, where it was called Not Your Shield. And they have people who are gay, straight, black, white, of all different walks of life, talking about how they're part of Gamergate and they just want more transparency in the gaming journalism industry and in the gaming industry in general. Do those seem like they're a bunch of close-minded, white basement-dwelling males that want to attack any woman that plays video games? Especially since there's a bunch of gay and straight women in that video. I think you have the wrong outlook on Gamergate there, Polygon, but whatever. The mainstream media and gaming journalism sites consider Anita Sarkeesian and Zoe Quinn the belle of the ball. And anyone who seems to question them is considered a hater, a bigot, a man-child, whatever the case may be. Obviously, part of the reason is because everyone, including myself, will talk about her whenever she comes up in the news, and that brings a bunch of ad revenue in for everybody. That's why they do it. But it's still bullshit. And they're turning something that is everybody's problem, online harassment, into a woman's problem. And it's not just a woman's problem. Everyone on the internet, in some way, shape, or form, or virtually everyone on the internet, has dealt with harassment. And they're turning it into their problem when it should be everybody's. And like I said before, that's very selfish of them. This is Rich of Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one.